So my name is Tai Abrams, and I'm the president and CEO of AdmissionSquad. And this summer here at PS 66, we are hosting an SHSAT Summer Boot Camp, where students have 22 intensive days of learning high-level, rigorous math and ELA material. So we've gotten a lot of complaints from the students because they are overwhelmed with a lot of the work, but we really let them know that, quite honestly, some of the material on the SHSAT is actually not taught in schools. Schools do an excellent job of laying the foundation in some cases, but the reality is there is a content gap where students do need to learn that material, and that's where our program comes in. So in the very beginning of our program, we introduced geometry concepts that students likely never saw before, and because of the short time frame, we had to do a lot of it in about 2 weeks. So students were freaking out, but we know for a fact that the work is going to pay off. The students are going to do well, and we're going to continue to spiral that material until they're at a place where they've achieved mastery. Right, so in the past, we've actually hosted our program solely on weekends, where students will still have their weekdays to enjoy. And while that model worked, we realized that a lot of times once we teach the content, the students quite often would lose at least half of it by the time they came back to class the next day. So we wanted to design a boot camp this year where students could come in one way and, of course, leave completely transformed. So as each day that they come, Monday through Thursday, we keep adding on material, and because of the close proximity of the classes, they're able to build on and retain a lot more content a lot faster. So we hope to see that at the end of 6 weeks, students will be completely operating at a much higher level, each person improving their score by at least 100 points. And of course, that would put all of these students in a position to get into one of the specialized high schools. Students, before coming in, it's hard to justify why you should give up your entire summer to focus on SHSAT prep. So quite a few of our students were a little upset, specifically the students who are new to our program. Students who had already been coming to our program every single weekend, they were kind of used to it. They were excited to be with their friends. They were excited to be in a highly motivated environment. But definitely the students new to AdmissionSquad, they were not used to the level of rigor that we brought to their academic experience. But we noticed that after a few weeks, students have started to bond with one another. They really do understand what it really takes to get into a specialized high school. They recognize the competitive advantage that they are going to have in relation to their peers. And of course, they are committed. And we really recognize that it takes a village to get these children ready. So parents have had to play a hands-on role in the home environment to ensure that students are able to make it through the boot camp. Well, due to the content gap, as we mentioned before, there is a significant content gap on the SHSAT. So if students do not receive outside of school support to actually close that content gap, they cannot perform exceptionally well on the SHSAT. The other piece is there are specific nuances to the exam. The exam is changing again in 2018 to include a significant increase in the reading comprehension questions. And for 2017, there was only nonfiction text. Now for 2018, there will be nonfiction, fiction, and as well as a poem. So students really needed some exposure to that new content, along with the geometry content that students have never seen before, and of course, really honing in on their algebra skills. As always, I have high hopes for our students. I expect 100% of our students to get into a top New York City high schools. And I do hope that, after all of our hard work, we will see at least 80% of our students getting into a specialized high school. But we do recognize that a lot of these students did start off a little bit behind in terms of their preparation process. Our students who have started off with the preparation process at least 6 months prior to the summer, they are in a much stronger position. So there is a cost barrier for quite a few people to join our program, and the reality is we do have overhead, we have a location, we have instructors, we have quite a bit of books and resources that we provide to our students, and not every family can actually afford the program. So what we did this year is we partnered with Empower Charter School, who actually sponsored quite a few of the talented students at the school. We've also provided scholarships to support 6 students right here at PS 66 to be able to provide a full experience for these students who are most deserving. But no matter what, by the end of 7th grade, these students had to take a diagnostic exam in order to qualify. So we do believe that despite providing the scholarship or having students who come from families who can't afford it, the mix of students are definitely focused around folks who have the motivation, the ambition, and the focus to actually experience and be successful in the process. So this year we launched our summer internship program, and one of the visions of AdmissionSquad, specifically that I had quite a few years ago, is once students get into these top high schools, they should commit some time, whether it's during their summers or during the actual school year, to give back. So we had quite a few of our 2015 cohort reach out to myself and some of the other board members to ask to be one of our interns. So we actually have 7 summer interns with us. You know, one of the students is currently at Brooklyn Tech. We have a student at Packard Collegiate. We have quite a few students from Nest Plus M, and these students really are shining in their ability to give back. They are helping us to build out our blog. We have some of them helping to actually to plan out our game day at Brooklyn Bridge Park. They are demonstrating leadership. They've actually built out some of the materials that we're going to be providing the children with. So, you know, we've really allowed them to grow within the confines of this internship experience. They're getting the workforce readiness experience that they need. They're also paid. So this is a paid position that they will have to be able to put on their resume, and we do feel that they're growing leaps and bounds. Well, we do hope to be at 4 sites next year. We have quite a few offers on the table where we are going to be expanding to provide SHSAT prep, not just during the summer, but during the school year, because we recognize that the students who are performing exceptionally well at this stage in the game, which is actually 4 months before the exam, they started earlier. So, you know, it's kind of exhausting to keep having the time crunch of having to only have 2 or 3 months to squeeze all of this massive content into a child's brain. So we are in conversations with schools and other community-based organizations to roll out a full year program. Regarding Mayor Deblasio's plan to get rid of the SHSAT, I strongly believe that there are other approaches that we could focus on, specifically at the K through 8 education level. It is clear that when students are given access to rigorous training, they actually can perform. So something's actually happening, whether it's in upper elementary school or in lower middle school, where students are not necessarily being challenged at a higher level. So there are other intervention strategies like providing more access to gifted and talented programs, whether it's in school or out of school, that could really make a huge difference in allowing more students who are underserved to have access to get into one of the specialized high schools. Our students are not just focused on specialized high schools. There are 37 out of 435 top high schools in the city. And of course, the 9 specialized high schools make the list, but there are other top high schools that our students are also targeting. We have schools like Manhattan Village Academy, we have Nest Plus M, Bard, Eleanor Roosevelt, Townsend Harris, that our students are very excited to pursue. So we do want to ensure that, you know, folks who are out there who are aspiring to attend one of the top New York City high schools, we get informed about what the admissions process looks like for each of the schools, and that our students are given the resources that they need to be able to compete.